see the parable of the sower. You're familiar with that. Then the lampstand on the next column. And then the parable of the growing seed. And then go down to verse 35 on the far right-hand side. And we're going to read these 6 verses. And let's read it together today. Ready, everybody? That day, when evening came, he said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along, just as he was in the boat. There were also other boats with him. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat, so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was concerned, sleeping on the cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, Teacher, don't you care if we drown? He got up and rebuked the wind and said to the waves, Quiet, be still. Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. And he said to his disciples, Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith? They were terrified and asked each other, Who is this, that even the wind and the waves obey him? The Gospel of our Lord. Thanks be to God. Please be seated. Well, this is one of my most favorite texts, my most favorite scriptures. It is the stilling of the storm. It is this short 6 verses that is used within the lectionary series. It has so much stuff in it, and it is just kind of a delight. But it also speaks to me because it's something that I've enjoyed most of my life. Being out on the lake and being in a boat and knowing something of how all that works, it speaks to me as I hear these words as well. Now you got to go all the way back to the 1970s, if any of you remember that. But there was a musician, a balladeer by the name of Gordon Lightfoot. Yeah. And you know that, and Minnesotans know that, because there was a song that is kind of connected because of Lake Superior and the like. And it was The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Anybody now remember it? Some of you young kids are going, yeah, that's like a country western star. He was never on American Idol. Nothing like that. America's Got Talent, no. Dancing with the Stars, no. Gordon Lightfoot wrote this song about the lake. And if you remember, it begins, the legend lives on from the Chippewa and down on the lake, big lake they call Gitchigumi. And the story picks up then of this iron ore boat that is out there, a ship that is headed across the port, and that in November the storms come, and the big storms come, and the ship is caught in the waves. And it's a true story, and so it really grabs our attention. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a great ending. They sink. And they lose all hands on board. But the idea of a storm of such power and such ferociousness that even a large ship like an iron ore boat would be lost in its depths kind of makes you think a little bit, doesn't it, about a storm like that. So this text is filled with all kinds of other stuff. I mean, first of all, you got Jesus, of course, which wherever Jesus goes, Jesus is doing interesting things. He's saying certain things, get people going. He does certain things and gets them all excited about stuff. You got these disciples following him around. And in the book of Mark, the disciples were always the clueless ones. They're the ones that follow Jesus and they see a miracle and they see these things going. Jesus says, no, don't tell anybody about it. But then they go tell everybody about it anyway. And he says, well, what does this mean? And they go, I don't know, Lord, tell us. And he's got to explain the parable of this, and all that. They're kind of clueless ones, and here they are in Mark's Gospel. Here they are in our little 6 verses right here. Remember the disciples, they were called by Jesus along the Sea of Galilee, many of them. They were fishermen. They knew this lake. They had boats there. They knew how to handle storms and all that was part of it. And this is one of my favorite spots because, hey, it's got a boat in it. I mean, who doesn't like a nice boat? You got a good boat, and I've shared this before with you, but it wasn't too long ago, several years ago, that the Sea of Galilee in northern Israel had a huge drought. And the Sea of Galilee actually lowered the depth by, 6, 8 feet. And it exposed 20, 30, 40 feet of shoreline. And it's kind of like, anybody familiar with White Bear Lake and how that kept going down and people kept putting their docks out, so the docks were like 100 yards long by the time they got out there. And then they looked in the mud and the deal, they found all the stuff that they had lost out of the boat over the years. But in this case, they saw in the mud on the Sea of Galilee, they saw the outline of a boat, a ship. And it was made of wood. And so they dug around it, they cleaned it up and preserved the wood, and it's in a museum there now. And they dated the wood, and the wood is from right around the 1st century. The nails and the like, it was obviously a well-used boat because it's repaired with multiple different types of wood from different places. It's of a design from that period of time. And so the thought that this would be a boat like what Jesus had been on is kind of an interesting one, isn't it, that they would have a boat. Now, we would all take a nice Lund, with a good motor on the back and everything, and have all the accessories and enough cup holders. That's always going to be good. But this was Jesus' boat. And they row and they sail, both. If it's a good wind and in the way they're going, they'll sail. Of course, it's easier, but if not, they're going to be rowing. Not only that, but you got the lake in the story. And who doesn't like going to the lake? You got the beautiful lake and the water that's there, the fishing that's all a part of it. Us Minnesotans, this story speaks to our very soul. And then it's an adventure. Here it's night, or it's getting close to night. If you look, it says, the day when evening came. And so it's towards dusk, it's towards sunset. And Jesus says to the disciples, let's go over to the other side. Let's go over to the other side. Well, most of the time, on lakes, the lake tends to calm down in the evening. The wind tends to dissipate. The calmness comes out on the lake. And for the disciples here, it probably was the fact that they were going to do a little rowing to get to where they were. We don't know for sure, but it's possible. Well, this was an adventure because does Jesus say anything about where they're going to go except for going to the other side? And so they head off. And, I have to tell you, I've read this many, many times. But the one verse that just struck me this time more than any other is that it says there were also other boats with him. It never occurred to me that they would be alone out there, but there was a few others in other boats that were going with them. Well, then, not only is it an adventure, but it's also a challenge to our faith. Because, we know storms, real storms come up, and boats, as the story goes like this, but we know storms in our own life too, don't we? We know what storms are like, and lots of different ways that we come up against. And we know what fear we have in those times when we feel that we've lost control of everything and that we're going to perish. So all of this in 6 verses is all wrapped up for us today. And who doesn't, I forgot to pray. I got to pray. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, as we unpack this story, as we lift it up, we just ask that you let it speak to our hearts. Whether it's about what Jesus was doing there, Lord, or maybe today, in a special way, there are storms that are going on in our life. Big dark clouds that are coming over us, wind that produces waves that we are up against, and fear that comes in, and we feel like our lives we are perishing, and we're not in control. There's nothing left we can do, Lord. So we come to you, and we ask for your help. In your name we pray. Amen. Well, for a long time, growing up in southern Minnesota, I grew up on a lake, and so we were fairly unattended as children. I say that to my mother lovingly, but we had a lot of freedom, and so we built rafts. We put logs, telephone poles together, actually, and we put platforms on top of them and then mounted them with sails, and we'd pull out on the lake, and my friends and I, we had pirate adventures, and we had ships, but it was always the wind. It was always the waves out there that you were up against. One time my dad bought an old rowboat, an old wooden rowboat from St. Olaf Camp, a little resort there. And the reason the resort was selling it was because it leaked like a sieve. You'd bail it all out, and by the time you got halfway out off the lake, it was full again. We were standing on the seat, bailing it. And so, I'm thinking about my parents. Really should have took better care of us. We were out there. So I had rafts. We had this old wooden boat that we sailed, and we rigged a mast up in the center of it. We took a piece of steel conduit, electrical conduit, and we put it up, and we found an old tarp, and we made a sail, and it was great. We sailed across Pickerel Lake, and we could go one way. That was it. We had to row back, but it was a fun one-way trip, I guess. All of that was important, and we enjoyed the lake, and we developed some skills towards that, but it was always the eye to the horizon, the eye to the clouds, the eye to the storm, to get to the other side. So, well, that's what Jesus tells us today. He says, let's go to the other side. It's dusk, it's evening. He says, let's go to the other side. He doesn't say, let's go to Capernaum, let's go to Bethsaida or some other place like that. He says, let's go to the other side. How many times in your life would you have liked the Lord to be more clear about where you should go? We do. We would like a clear answer that, Lord, is this what I should be doing, or is this what I should be doing, or is this the person that I should be with, or whatever the question is. We say that, but here the Lord simply says, let's go to the other side in 6 verses. Nobody questions it. In fact, it even says, if you want to go look there, it says that they took him along just as he was. And so they didn't go get picnic baskets, they didn't get the cooler, they didn't get all the stuff to go with it. They just grabbed the Lord and got in the boat and started to head to the other side, wherever that is going to be. Well, often we would like it clear, but you know what? Sometimes that's just kind of part of the journey of faith, is that we're there to follow Jesus, and Jesus says, we're going that way. Are you ready? And what do, right, in the church? You know what we do, right? We form a committee. We got to set up a task force. We got to get some people working on this, and then they got to report to the ministry board back. And then after that, we're going to have to budget some money or something. Lord, it can't be right now. It should be more specific, or we may not be with you. It says, go to the other side. I think that's a good lesson today, if nothing else, from all the rest of these verses, is that we think how Jesus says, go. Go to the other side. Are you ready to simply go? Jesus has called all of them. He said, come and what? Follow me. Follow me and you'll be fishers of people. And with that he said, now go, and we're going to go to the other side. Are we ready to go, both as individuals and as a church, to the other side? Today we're receiving new members, and you get to be a part of this wondrous adventure that Jesus is setting before us as we go to where Jesus is pointing us towards. It may not seem like a specific point in time or place or task, but it is that we are going where Jesus will lead us, for which the end result is yet to be revealed as we journey together. You new members get to be a part of that with us. Your calling to follow Jesus is now calling to be in the same boat with the rest of us. You know how that goes, right? You go out fishing for the day, and it's hot, and the kids are going, hey, wait, one hook, will you? Oh, I'm tired, I want to go back in. Right? That's the point. You'd like to get everybody else out of the boat so you can just be in the boat. But unfortunately, we're the church, or fortunately, we're the church, and we do this together, all of us. And so welcome aboard, I wanted to say that to you. And as we journey together, we're following Jesus. We're not alone, we're going together because we need each other to get to the other side. Glad you're a part of it. Well, along the way, as they followed Jesus' directions to get there, rowing possibly, they look off to the horizon and those black clouds come. And you've seen them before, maybe you were on land, but if you're on the lake, you know what I'm talking about. Then the wind kicks up, and then you see the lightning, you hear the thunder, and the storm begins to roll in. Storms roll into our lives all the time. We're not promised that everything is going to be just fine because we're Christians. We're not promised that our health will always be wonderful, or that we'll age perfectly, or that all of our relationships in family and friends or neighborhood will be great. We're not promised that it's going to be easy. We're only promised promise that Jesus will be with us in storm and in calm. So here we are in the boat together. We're rowing against the waves now. Up on northern Minnesota lake on the Canadian border, there's a lake called Namakan. It's next to Rainy. My uncle has a cabin there. And all the cabin owners, there aren't very many, they're on the Canadian side and the American side, they all get together for the 4th of July on a bare rock, right out in the middle of the big lake. And it's not very high, it's probably, I don't know, maybe 3-4 feet off, and it's solid rock, bare. Everybody comes out there, they bring all their food, their picnics, and all the refreshments. And then they pull their boats up, and they're at a pretty steep angle. And so the motors are kicked up, and people were into the party out in the middle of the lake on this bald rock out there, and they were just enjoying themselves, a beautiful 4th of July day, all excited. And up to the north side, as you look, there was this just solid black cloud, literally it was rolling in, and before it you could see kind of a gray-green that was beginning to form, and rain that was coming into the background. And everybody was having such a good time, they're going, oh, it's going the other way, because it never comes that way to here. Right? No, it was coming that way to here. And people were starting to put down their beverages, and they were starting to look more carefully, and the waves started to hit the back. And as those waves hit, the storm begins. And it was filling the back of the boats up right away. And people's fishing boxes and tackle boxes were drifting off, and life jackets. And there was, boats were bouncing up and down, people were trying to bail them, and there was chaos and bedlam. You see, the problem is that we don't think maybe that storm will ever come to us. But it does. It does. And our being ready for it is always possible. That's what makes it unexpected, right? We expected it, we know. But in this case, in Jesus' case, they saw it coming, and it came right for them, right in the middle of the night there as they were crossing the lake. And it came for them, and the waves got bigger and bigger and started to threaten the boat. In fact, water started coming in over the sides. Those storms come, no matter what. Do you know that oftentimes in those storms, there's a point where we realize that we're done, that we can't do anything more. Guys who were trying to bail the back of their transoms out and save their stuff realized that at a certain point that it was just foolish. We just had to tie them down and wait till it was all over. We're not ready often when they come, those storms of life. And we realize that we have no control over that moment to do anything to save ourselves. Well, that's true of the disciples here. It's certainly true of them. Because they were filling with the boat, they realized they were going to perish. And if you look in your scripture, you want to go back to that, and you get down there, and it says that they were nearly swamped. That means the boats are almost full at that point of water, right? They were nearly swamped. And Jesus was in the stern, probably higher ground. He's sleeping on a cushion. The Lord God, the Savior, our Savior, is just relaxed and comfortable. The disciples woke him. If you look there, and it says then what? What do they ask? Teacher. They call him teacher, which is interesting because this is not Lord, but this is a different word. Rabbi used. You're the one that's been teaching us so far. We're in chapter 4. It says, teacher, don't you care if we drown? I wonder how many times we have had those words when we come to that moment, you know? I know many of you have had the story of cancer as part of your family and a part of your life in different ways. And you reach that point and you realize, like the storm comes, and you realize that you can't do anything for yourself here to save yourself. You can count on the doctors, you can count on medical procedures, you can count on all those things, but really, do you feel in control? Not a bit. Not a bit. And often when we come to that point in the storms, where we feel out of of control, we turn to God and we go, why aren't you here, Lord? Why aren't you here to help me? Because we feel as though we have been abandoned or let go. You remember the time on the cross where that happened to Jesus? Where he was dying there on the cross. And he said, why have you forsaken me? And Jesus himself, at a moment in time, felt out of control and no one there, and that God was not with him. But then what happens next after they say that? You know, don't you care if we are drowning, if we perish? Jesus stood up on a boat in the middle of a storm with waves rocking it back and forth. He got up and he rebuked the wind. Be quiet, be still! Exclamation mark, imperative. It's interesting here that at the beginning when it says a storm, a great storm comes up, the Greek word is megos. Just like megaphone, mega everything. And a large storm, a big storm, a great storm, an unusually different storm came up and got that. The same word is used for the calm that follows in Greek. The same word, megos. Great quiet came upon them, a still. The RSV translates it dead quiet. Be quiet and be still. That is the exact same phrase that Jesus used when he was in the synagogue and he told the demons, the evil spirits that were within the man, to be quiet, be still as well. So now in Mark's gospel, we see that Jesus was both the Lord over evil, right? The evil spirits, and the Lord over natural things like storm and wind and wave. And he comes down and he says to the disciples, why are you so afraid? You see, when we get in the storms of life, we have this contrast between fear and faith. Fear and faith. We are in fear because we are out of control. We are in fear because we have all these things that are coming up against us which we can't do anything about. We are in fear of those things. And it is faith that is the answer to that fear. Because Jesus is not far from us, but is with us. How many of you remember at a funeral hearing that beautiful passage from Romans where it says, none of these things will overcome you, right? None of these things will governments or principalities or will great things or small things or any of those things change in that? No. God is with you and will overcome all of those things in your life. Jesus is in the boat. That's the good news for the church. That's the good news for us. We're not out there by ourselves. Jesus is with us. And when we begin to recognize that we don't have control, but Jesus has the control, then we are ready. Then we're ready to receive what Jesus has for us, the calm and the peace and the healing and all the rest that comes with us. Well, you can see I like this text. I'm going on and on and on, and everybody's looking at their watches. They're going, hey, I got cake. I think he said something about cake after. Well, listen, I'll wrap it up there and just say, these storms that we have are not anything that we can control ourselves. They come. Jesus is the means by which that we go to him and we say, Lord, save us today. Amen? Amen. Amen. Let's stand and sing.